Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Dynamite or Mike. I am Jim Ross, here with Ashley Williams and with Taz. And today on Dynamite or Mike, we're gonna see the beginning of another Disney self, Amora or Amara, whatever her name is, have her start here in the TWF. And she came from the New World Fifth Middle, Jim Ross says. Well, that's right, Ashley Williams says. Amora, however you say her name is, I don't really know. We know she came from the New World Fifth Middle, Jim Ross, and that's going to be something. Oh yeah, it will be, Taz says. I want to see what kind of wrestling, what kind of fighting she does. Is her head truly crooked, or is that just the way it looks? No, that's the way someone put her head on. It can't really be undone. So I'm Amora, another one of those Disney cells. I don't know if one would say I was a Disney queenling or not. And I truly believe that I was just a Disney self. I don't think I'm a Disney Pixar self, or a Disney Lucasfilm self, or a Disney Marvel self. And yes, my film could be seen on Disney Plus, I guess. Anyway, so I'm here in the TWF, and the first thing I want to say is that I think that I have what it takes. You don't come to the you don't come to the TWF without wanting to make a name for yourself. All right? I know that. And some folks out there might think otherwise, but I do know that. So the way I look at it is I truly believe that I can make a name for myself, and I will. So whoever wants to step up is going to get stepped on, if you understand where I'm coming from. Well, Jim Ross said you can't have this show without Kenny Omega, who need or need not be still with AEW. He's been held up. Well, Ashley Williams said, I heard talks about Kenny Omega wanting to go to WWE one day. Will it happen? I don't know. Your guess is good as mine, Ashley Williams said. Well, I do know one thing. If that would happen, Taz said any following he may have gotten during all of his years in wrestling would go down because a lot of his followers don't like WWE. So if Kenny Omega or Nick Buck or Matt Buck would ever go to WWE, that would not be good. I just like to say I'm one of the gatekeepers here in the TWF, Kenny Omega says. And even though even though I've only been in the TWF since November of 2021 YL, and I didn't really win too many matches, but whatever. And I am a former TWF heavyweight fighter, two-time TWF 24/7 fighter, AEW heavyweight fighter, IWA fighter, AAA heavyweight fighter, NJPW fighter, PWG heavyweight fighter. Yeah, I get it. You won a lot of winnings. Great for you. But I don't really know if I would call you a gatekeeper for the TWF or not. I mean, when you think of it, you didn't really do very much. I mean, everyone liked to think Kenny Omega, don't get me wrong. You are a skilled wrestler. You're a skilled fighter. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't really say you're a locker room leader. I wouldn't call you that. I wouldn't say you were a gatekeeper. And somehow, someway, your winning and losses in the TWF haven't really been the greatest. I mean, when you think of it, the only grounds to why you became both the IW and AEW heavyweight fighter at the same time was AEW hoping to outdo Roman Reigns, and we know how that went. What happened there, Kenny Omega? Tell the truth. You lost to Christian Cage, who won the IW heavyweight winnings before he lost it to Josh Alexander. You then lost AEW heavyweight winnings to Adam Page before you were out wounded. But, well, so, yeah, that's all the past. All right, you shifted on from those losses, right? I'm going to tell you one thing, the Jackal says. You'll give Kenny Omega some onlook. He's gone through shit. You know, he used to have oversight in AEW. He used to be one of the under leadership force setters of AEW at one time. He used to be one of the greatest wrestlers in the world until he got besmirched by the folks at AEW. And he came to TWF. Yes, he became a TWF heavyweight fighter. He's a whatever. Hey, I can speak for myself, Jackal. But the truth is, yeah, put some onlook on my name. I know a lot of folks out there don't like me. They have these weird thoughts of me. They think that I'm some kind of unstraight. I do weird things in a ring. I'm never going to be James E. Cornette's beloved wrestler, and I'm alright with that. But at the end of the day, I see myself as a locker room leader, as a gatekeeper. And if you think that I'm gonna beat you, I will. Yeah, Kenny Omega's gonna beat you, the Jackal says, and at the end of the day, you're gonna learn to onlook him. Well, we do know Astronema is here. The main overseer to TWF, and the matchmaker is here. Will she make the match today between these two or not? We'll have to see if she ends up doing that or not, Jim Ross says. Well, Ashley Williams said we'll see if she makes the match or not. Alright, come on. No, I can't stand up now? What the fuck? So, Kenny Omega, you left the ring before I could have a talk with you. There you are. So, today we're going to see Nora, or whatever your name is, some Hawaiian or Samoan borrowed name, or Maori borrowed name. You're going to go and fight Kenny Omega here today on Dynamite or Might. And just to let us all know, Kenny Omega, I don't think you are a locker room leader or a gatekeeper in the TWF. But if you beat her, you can go a long way of backing. I don't really think you're any of that, though, Astronema says. Yeah, Ecliptor says, we're going to have that match here today on Dynamite or Might, whatever you want to say. We're having a match, we're having a fight. And let's do it now. Alright, Astronema says, time to do that match. Let's get it started now. Well, we just heard that Astronema and Ecliptor have made the match, so now it's on. Kenny Omega is going to be fighting whatever her... Where did we put the fight? He's gone. We need to dig him out. There he is. Well, and first off, Jim Ross said, why would Kenny Omega come out of here and say that he was the locker room leader, that he was the gatekeeper, Jim Ross said. I don't know why he would say that stuff for. I guess he's seeking to get himself over. He's hoping that somewhere he might get onlook for what he did. Oh, onlook for what? Jim Ross said, what kind of onlook? You know, from being the AEW heavyweight fighter and the IW heavyweight fighter at the same time, Taz says. Being the AAA and the NJPW heavyweight fighter too. Yeah, I know you like to talk about Taz said. Talk about that all the time. Ashley Williams said, that's the past. He hasn't done anything in AEW since then. Except getting himself held up for a fight between CM Punk, Ace Steel, and the Young Bucks. Well, we don't know when we ever see Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks ever again. We don't know if they will go to WWE or not, Jim Ross said, but that is not the saga until today. Mara's in a bind right now with Kenny Omega. Jim Ross said, the former TWF heavyweight fighter too, and two-time TWF 24/7 fighter too. Jim Ross said, yeah, Taz said, Put some on look on Kenny Omega's name. Look how great he's doing. He might not be James E. Cornette's beloved wrestler, but you can't be everyone's beloved wrestler, Taz says. That's right, Ashley Williams says you can't. Mara coming back right now. Mara, who could be in the blood will run. Along with Roman Reigns and Jason Uso and James Uso and Kenny Omega. Oh, so you're going to say she's one of them. See, Taz says, why is it that everyone who's either a Maivia or a Fatu or a Mafuda, why is it they're all either in wrestling or football? Taz said, I don't understand that. Well, not all of them are in wrestling and football, Jim Ross said. Some of them are in show playing too, Oh, Kenny Omega getting beat up right now, Jim Ross says. Well, Ashley Williams said, I don't think she's a Fatu or a Maivia or a Mafuta or anything like that. Taking down Kenny Omega. I don't even know what her kid name is. And now the Jackal or Cyrus, he started his shit. He's down. And Kenny Omega just took her down, Jim Ross said. And now the former AEW, AAA, NJPW, IW heavyweight fighter down on Mora here, Jim Ross says. Well, Ashley Williams said if it was for the Jackal and the Cyrus, whatever you want to call them, WWE owns the right to both those ring names. Ashley Williams says. Yeah, Taz said if Kenny Omega goes to WWE, you think the Jackal will go back for a 2-4 run? 1, 2, 3. Ding ding ding. Here is your winner, Kenny Omega. Well, Kenny Omega beat Mora here with the help of the Jackal, or Cyrus, or Don Covens, whatever you want to call him. Jim Ross says. And Mora's probably not happy with what happened today, how she lost to Kenny Omega here today on Dynamite, or might. Well, I guess you can't win them all, Taz says. Kenny Omega got a win. He's been taking a lot of losses, but today he got a win, Taz says. And we know Mora, she's probably not happy about any of that. All right, Kenny Omega, you son of a bitch. You only beat me because the Jackal helped you. If you didn't have the Jackal's help, you'd be dead. And you don't got Nick Buck and Matt Buck. They didn't come to the TWF yet. And I'm gonna get you. Well, I understand now that Gorilla Monsoon now is now going to be talking of Kenny Omega and the Jackal, or Cyrus, whatever you want to call him. Alright, Kenny Omega, so-called locker room lead. Hi, Jim Ross, I'm going to talk with Kenny Omega now. So-called locker room leader, so-called gatekeeper. You beat Mora. Yeah, I did. Did anyone believe that I wasn't going to beat her? Come on, Gorilla Monsoon. I am a former IW, AEW, AAA, NJPW, PWG, TWF heavyweight fighter. What heavyweight winnings I have not won? The WWE heavyweight winnings. Oh, come on. I'll win that one day. If I go WWE one day, I'll win that. If you do go to WWE one day, we're talking about what you're doing here in TWF. You won a match, you beat Mora, whatever her name is, with the help of the Jackal or Cyrus or whatever you want to call them. I'll tell you what, Kenny Omega says, I've always been skilled, I've always been gifted. Some folks think I'm a weirdo, some folks think I'm on straight or whatever they think, I don't care. James E. Cornette bitches about me all the time, he doesn't like how I wrestle, that's too bad. I'm here to tell you, I beat Mora, that makes me greater than her. And we mean so-called locker room leader, so-called gatekeeper. I am a locker room leader. I am a gatekeeper. Well, if you were a locker room leader or a gatekeeper, Kenny Omega, you would have stopped the fight that was going on between CM Punk and the Young Bucks and Nate Steel. Hey, I helped get CM Punk's dog out of the room before I broke up the fight. But anyway, talking about TWF here. Anyway, I beat Mara. She thinks she's so cool because she's a Fought 2 or a Maya Via or, her Mara or whatever those kin names are. Even if she's not kin to any of them, she ain't nothing cool to me. Alright, Jackal, Cyrus, whatever you want to call yourself. You can call me the Jackal or Cyrus or Don Covens, what you want to call me. Kenny Omega got a wonderful win and a long time in a TWF. I think the TWF was burying him. I think they were holding him down because he was from AEW. That he was their answer to Roman Reigns. Anyway, I can't speak about what's going on in AEW. I can only speak what's going on in TWF. Mara, whatever her name is. She could be a Fought 2, a Maya Via. She could be her Mara. Whatever. I don't care if she's kin to them or not. But at the end of the day, she took a loss. And unlike Solo Sikoa, she didn't get the big win like he did. Well, that's my talk with Kenny Omega and the Jackal. Back to you, Jim Ross. Well, thank you, Gorilla Monsoon, for talking with Kenny Omega and the Jackal here today on Dynamite or Might. And it is all the time we got here for Dynamite or Might. I am Jim Ross for Ashley Williams and Taz. We hope you like Dynamite or Might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact on XS TV or Smash and Inside Farseer.